Cooking 101. What is Kevin cooking up in class? Kevin felt as if he had stepped onto the set of the Super Cookie Bake Off, or one of the other dozen or so cooking competitions he loved watching so much. Two long stainless steel tables sat in the middle of the kitchen, and a variety of ovens, sinks, refrigerators, and cupboards lined the walls. He expected a host to walk in, introduce everybody, and announce, "Today, our chefs must create a meal using only shiitake mushrooms, grape jelly, taco shells, and capers. You have 30 minutes starting now." Kevin smiled to himself, imagining the scene, and then looked around at the 6 other students in the class. Everybody was dressed in matching white chef's coats. Kevin began introducing himself to the student standing next to him when Chef Mario suddenly burst through the door. "Hello, hello," he greeted the class. "Welcome to Cooking 101. As I'm sure you read in the description, we'll be concentrating on a couple of simple dishes today. Once you've mastered those, we'll move on to something a bit more complex. So, who do we have with us this session?" One by one, each student shared his or her name, grade, and school. Then Chef Mario passed out an egg to each student, along with some vegetables, green and red peppers, mushrooms, scallions, and black olives. "We'll start with a basic omelet," explained Chef Mario. Kevin felt a bit disappointed. He had imagined whipping up a complicated meal, something that had a sauce and a meat and a couple of side dishes. An omelet seemed too easy. But then Chef Mario demonstrated his lightning-fast chopping skills. Next, he beat the egg into a frothy liquid with just a fork and some elbow grease. Then he dumped the egg and vegetable mixture into a pan, added a few seasonings, and a few minutes later, the students were tasting a perfectly fluffy omelet. When Kevin tried to imitate what the chef had done, he was surprised at how long the whole process took compared to how quickly the chef had worked. In the end, the omelets he and the other students made were flatter and less flavorful than Chef Mario's creation. Kevin had to admit it. His omelet had a lot of room for improvement. Chef Mario explained why his omelet was fluffier, and he worked with the students as they attempted another omelet. With the chef's help, everyone's omelets were better the second time around, including Kevin's. "Great work, everybody," said the chef. "We've done breakfast, so let's try lunch now." Chef Mario next showed the class how to make a turkey Reuben sandwich with coleslaw, Swiss cheese, Thousand Islands dressing, and rye bread. He explained a couple of tricks that helped keep the coleslaw crispy and cool while the turkey, cheese, and bread were piping hot. "That contrast in temperature makes the sandwich extra special," he pointed out. As with his omelet, Kevin's attempt at the Reuben was less than perfect, but he knew practice would make him better. At the end of class, Chef Mario thanked everyone for coming, as he told the students that he looked forward to the next session. Kevin pictured himself at home on a Saturday afternoon. He saw himself standing at the stove in his own kitchen, dressed in an apron with his parents waiting at the table. "Order up," he would shout, and he'd set his culinary creations in front of them. Perhaps the sandwiches wouldn't be perfect enough to win on a cooking show, but they would be perfectly delicious just the same.